No matter who you are, you'll find it beneficial, no matter what you're doing. I've noticed a massive difference in obviously just my overall just like self-belief. The community can kind of just keep you on track instead of getting distracted. The blueprints are obviously just liquid gold. When you're accomplishing all these things, people will try and kind of like bring you down. Me being in here for a month, I've noticed a massive increase in my ability to work. I've been making some good money. Have some good money since joining.
Today we got the GOAT, Nate here, all the way from Australia.
How we going?
Australia, yeah. And
Australia.
yeah, like Nate's been in the community for literally just a month, and we're just creating this so that we can document his progress so far, speak about some of the crazy wins that he's been able to achieve simply in just the last month. So let's get straight into it. I mean, introduce yourself to us. Like, who are you? How old are you? Where are you from? What do you do? Tell us about yourself, bro.
All right. Well, my name's Nate. I'm from Australia. I'm in the sunny coast. Very beautiful where I live. I work in sales. I work in a call center. So I sell car insurance or my home insurance. I go to the gym. I run. I get very active. You know what I mean?
Tell us like what you've achieved in the last month since just joining the community. Like straight
Mm.
off the bat, like what are some of those big wins that you've had? Because it's been crazy how much you've achieved just in 30 days.
Yeah. So obviously before joining the community, I still had the sales job. I did notice a big difference in sort of my like ability to start goal setting and being able to stay on track more so and having kind of more like-minded people to kind of share things with. Because when you're kind of in a state where you want to start, say like winning more, for example,
Mm.
when you're telling things or you're going through these experiences, not a lot of people you can really connect with like that. So I thought the community was really good for that. Me being in here for a month, I've noticed a massive increase in my ability to like work. Like I had, we'll probably get to this later on as like a win, but I've been making like some good money. Have some
Yeah.
good money since joining. Um, but yeah, so if you're willing to obviously like put in the work for it, then it's very beneficial.
Hmm.
And then obviously just the mental aspect as well, as I mentioned, it's very good for that. Like confidence, positive mindset, like things of that nature.
So I guess like let's rewind like 30 days, a month ago. Tell
Yeah.
us more about what your life was like before joining the community. Like what kind of things were you struggling with? What kind of things were holding you back from actually reaching your full potential? Like tell us about that.
Honestly, most of it was honestly just myself in that sense. Like I would kind of like hold myself back or I would let other people kind of hold me back in a way. And since joining the community, I've had more of um like more of an outlet to let things out, as I mentioned. Um
And like when you talk about not really being able to kind of be yourself, not being able to really kind of reach your full potential, describe how that felt. Like how was that pain? Like how frustrating was that for you?
it was frustrating because you know what you're capable of. And even like say for like sport, for example, say like in training, you're like one of the best players. I had this when I played basketball, but as soon as you get into a game, you're not playing to your full potential. You know what you know you can be doing. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
um, kind of having that like once again that outlet, having more like-minded people because sometimes the people when you're trying to transition from your old life to say your new life,
Mm.
there's a bit of a disconnect between some of the people that you choose to hang around, and then you can either decide you kind of meet a crossroad and you decide, okay, do I want to go back to what I was doing before? Or do I want to just take that jump
Mm.
and go to the next level? And then that's kind of something that the community has helped me with as well. Um, Kind of just having more like-minded people sharing obviously things that they want to achieve and kind of G's you up in a way because everyone's doing something. You know what I mean? No one's
Yeah.
just sitting there just like doing nothing.
Yeah, and kind of on that point of being one person and you're trying to achieve one thing, but then the people around you are kind of holding you back. You're not
Mm.
surrounded by like-minded people. Like in the
Mm.
community, like where have you found that?
Even simple things is like obviously there's the people in like the VIP calls which we have a good relationship with and we can like talk to and like, have a lot of fun on those calls. But just more so just the well I wouldn't even say everyone else in the community, but like you make a post, people comment on it, people like it, they give you support, things like that.
Mm.
And it's not like how say you would post something on social media and it's just like it's like a bunch of strangers giving you like all this like praise and then like your friends kind of just like back off or like people that know you kind of like back off a bit. Like everyone wants everyone to do well.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so it's been really refreshing doing that. You can literally just say anything like in the chats, and then or like any wins you have is no matter what it is, whether it's just like getting off social media. I made a post about that, or like certain goals that you want to achieve. Everyone's really supportive, which is really refreshing.
Yeah. I mean, you ran like a 20-kilometer run. That was one of your goals
Yeah,
to join the community. And I remember you said, "Oh yeah, I did 20 kilometers just under 5." And I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
5 hours." I was like, "Okay, that's a bit slow, but I'm still gonna be positive.
yeah,
I'm still gonna support you." And you were like, "No, no, no, under 5-kilometer pace." And I was like,
yeah,
I but that was crazy. And I think just like you said, when you're in the community, it's such a positive environment. And
Mm,
in the normal world, you achieve big things because like the community's full of ambitious people, and
yeah,
the normal people around you, they'll either be jealous of you or they simply
yeah,
won't care because they're on a different path to you and they're trying to achieve different things. But I feel like
yeah,
with the community, you just have so many people who are also ambitious. So when you win, it
yeah.
fires them up. They take inspiration from it and they support you rather than trying to bring you down or just simply not caring at all.
You can kind of use it as an outlet to kind of like talk your shit a little bit. Not like talk your shit, but you can be like, I did this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But and no one's gonna think you're weird for that because everyone's like, no one's gonna be like, oh, screw that guy. Like he's like not humble or he's overconfident because it's like they're all the same. We're all trying to achieve things, and that's a part of
Exactly.
success. Is just believing in yourself in the first place.
Exactly. And I've spoken to thousands of guys, and I think one of the common themes amongst guys is not having that ability or that outlet to actually talk about the stuff you're achieving. Because, like, so
Because
many
everyone
people,
tears them down. Yeah.
yeah, everyone tears them down. Like, people have such low self esteem because they don't actually appreciate what they've achieved in life. And when you don't take any time to notice it, you start to think
Mm,
you've achieved nothing and your self esteem drops. So it
yeah.
really does make a big difference once you start sharing those wins and you get like a positive reception. You start
Yeah.
actually realizing, okay, there's people out there who do support me. There are people out there who do want me to win. And that support system just pushes you to
Mm.
achieve like more goals.
It gets you out of your head a little bit as well instead of just being like stuck in your own thoughts, especially when you're spending more time alone as well. Like it's refreshing to have like obviously you have friends, family, but sometimes there's a bit of a disconnect with like certain like friends and family can sometimes be a bit like less support, not even like supportive, but they'll be more realistic in a way.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people in here like actually have big aspirations and want to achieve things, which is really good. No one's
Yeah.
gonna like think you're weird for wanting more for yourself.
Exactly. And you mentioned the community calls on the Saturday, like 1 hour
Mm,
community calls. Like tell us a bit about those community calls, what your experience has been of them, like how
yeah.
they've helped you. Tell us all about the community calls.
It's really good having like the weekly checkups, and I was saying this even before the call. Like I've noticed a difference in just like I had a week or two where I was kind of like lagging a bit outside. I wasn't like on the calls, so I was doing my own personal stuff, and I noticed a difference. Like get to like have that outlet, as I mentioned,
Yeah.
and even just having this conversation now, just it's a lot more refreshing to kind of just like have those like usual checkups, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's like going to the doctors every now and again. You know what I'm saying? But no, it's always a good time. The people in there are very, very, very supportive, very funny. We always have a good time.
Yeah.
And you always get to see what everyone else is up to. So if someone's like saying like, "Oh, I did this week," and you're just like, "Oh, I actually didn't do that much this week," you'd be like, "All right, next call, I'm gonna have some shit to say." You know what I
Yeah, yeah.
mean? Yeah,
And at the start of every single call, one thing that we've kind of drilled into the culture of the calls is sharing wins. Because as we said
yeah,
already, people don't get to share their wins. But, if you've watched Finn's video already, you would have seen that, like, on Fridays, if people haven't achieved something, like, they're up all night. Like, I need to make sure I've done something before this call. Because you don't want to be
yeah,
the only guy who says, oh, yeah, basically, this
mm,
whole week I did nothing. I was just a
yeah,
bum. So it pushes you to actually get
yeah,
stuff done because you almost have this thought in the back of your head that everyone else is doing something with their life, everyone else is winning. And yeah, those sharing the wins definitely does help a lot. That's another thing as well. I feel like this so interesting, like how global the community is. Like obviously
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
in
because
London right
it's
now.
different accents and
You're
it's different
you're
accents
you're in
as well.
Australia, but like you have Jordan as well, who's like from a different part of the UK.
Yeah,
You got other guys in like Europe.
Yeah.
guys all over.
It's
And
very
as you've
diverse.
named it,
Yeah.
the diversity just makes things so much more interesting and fun.
Yeah.
And like some of the jokes, you're like, or one word that one person uses, you're like, what did he say?
Yeah, that's more so what it was. That's when it started kind of clicking. I was just like, there's, like everyone's like, it's all like everyone to an extent, everyone is very like-minded, but everyone's so different as well. It's
Exactly.
like, but like they have a common trait.
Exactly. And it's like all of these people from all these different like corners of the earth
Mm.
are pretty much like brought together simply
Yeah,
because we're all ambitious. We're all trying to achieve great things in life. And we all share
yeah,
like similar values as well of actually trying to like make the world a better place, have a positive impact in the world, be the best version of ourselves. So that's
yeah.
another beautiful part of the community. One of the things that I saw that really helped you as well was the blueprints. You know,
Mhm.
tell us more about how the blueprints helped you.
I'm the type of person I like to try and well in recent years I don't like asking for help and I like figuring things out my own way. Obviously, like you need guidance and certain things like that, but you kind of after a certain point of being on your own kind of journey in a way, you kind of get a bit egotistical in a way. Like, okay, I know how these things work. I know how to like the what this what like this and that. But starting the confidence blueprint, I was just watching them and I was obviously taking it in, but I was like, this is the kind of stuff I already know. But then I re-watched it and I slowed it down and then I did the tasks and then I realized like how actually beneficial it actually was.
Mm.
Once you kind of like take yourself outside, like once you be able to take like that kind of criticism, not like criticism, but more so you're opening your eyes to something different, even though you may already know like kind of the gist of what you're saying. Even though you may know it, hearing someone else say it or hearing a different perspective on like things, I found that really beneficial. I found it was completely different from the first round of like videos that I went through after obviously redoing them. I'm currently on the positive mindset blueprint though, which I'm finding very helpful. Um, but yeah, everything's just like as you go through the videos and complete the tasks, everything just becomes a bit more clearer, and you kind of take on like a different perspective in that way.
And when you joined, obviously you had some goals. The could you share the goals that some of the goals that you
Yeah,
kind of had that you've been able to achieve over the last month?
yeah. So I touched on this previously. I work in sales. So there's this lady called Janice. She's a lovely old lady. She makes about like 5 grand every month. So I had a goal in mind to make a Janice commission for as a goal. I made 3.5 for last month, which I should get pretty soon, which I'm pretty stoked about. So it's not necessarily the 4 or 5 that I was looking for, but it's a lot better than like the grand bit I was getting before, obviously joining the community. So it's a progressive upload from there. But then obviously also the 20K run, which was a bit of a challenge. I got that done. The 20K run, maybe I can do 30 now. You know what I mean? But yeah, the main thing was just making that Janice commission. That'd be pretty sweet.
And I guess like you said, you went from making like 1K to making like
Mm.
3.5. So you like 3x'd the income coming in, which is quite
Yeah.
monumental. Like, how would you say that the community, specifically like the confidence blueprint and like everything kind of helped you achieve those goals? How did it assist you in that? What changed?
It kind of gives you like more so something to relate to because like when you're accomplishing all these things, people will try and kind of like bring you down
Hmm.
to like if you see a confident person, you'll always hear people say like, "Oh, he needs to be humbled." You know what I mean? It's just like you kind of look at these videos and you go like, "I'm actually not the problem." Like you know what I mean? Just because I'm overconfident, or just because I believe in myself, isn't the issue. It's the
Yeah.
other people. So it kind of gives you that outlet of being like, you're kind of not crazy. You don't think you're crazy in a way. I feel like
Yeah.
I had a lot of trouble believing in myself, or not like believing in myself, but more so just like, well, once again, having that outlet of people that I can kind of relate to in that way. Because
Yeah.
once again, you're in kind of like a loading phase for a lot of your journey until you actually like get the ball rolling. But getting the ball rolling is the hardest part, and then once it actually gets going, then that's kind of what I was like getting at before. Like you make the 1,000, and then the ball went rolling, and then I'm at 3.5. You know what I mean? So it's just like a momentum thing, and the community can kind of just keep you on track in that sense instead of getting distracted and getting put off out of alignment.
Yeah. Nah,
Yeah.
out of alignment indeed. And
Mm.
I guess like back to the blueprints and all of that. You mentioned that you kind of went through it quickly to begin with, but then you
Yeah.
started slowing it down, taking the tasks on board.
Yeah.
Could you talk about like the tasks and like the structure of the blueprints,
Yeah.
how you found that beneficial?
Yeah, so there was one point, one thing in particular that I noticed was definitely like the journaling. There was a task where you had to like obviously start journaling, and I was just like, what is the point? Like, what are you? I'm gonna write some stuff down on a piece of paper, and it's not really gonna like, what's the point? And then I actually did it, and I actually found it very beneficial. Like the first time I did it, it was actually um, like kind of just like getting into those deeper thoughts. I just asked ChatGPT to give me some like prompts on like
Mm,
stuff to like write about, and it got pretty deep, and you get to kind of just like open up in a way and like kind of clear out all these thoughts that you have.
mm,
And I actually found it very therapeutic in that sense. So it's more so just like humbling yourself in a way to kind of be like, okay, this is something different that I can try, and like being open to these new things,
yeah.
because like you never know until you try it. You know what I mean? And I feel like as
True.
humans, we're very
True.
like
Yeah.
we're very opinionated in that aspect. It's like if I don't want to do it, or if I don't find it beneficial, like why would I do it? But then you actually do it, and then you realize why it's beneficial. And that's kind of like what it was with the confidence blueprint. You kind of think you know something, and then you watch the videos, you do the tasks, and then it's kind of just like it's completely different. I don't really know how to explain it. It's more so like you think you know something, and then you actually do it, and it's just like just opens your eyes a little bit more.
Let's touch on that journaling because I
Mm.
remember, we were talking about journaling in one of the calls that we had on in the commute with the community guys, and you were like, yeah, I'll journal, and then I messaged you to kind of follow
Yeah.
up. Did you journal? You're like, yeah, gonna do it tonight. Like you were holding back because you were just like, well, why am I writing words on paper? And to be
Yeah.
honest, that's what a lot of people think and thought. And even before you joined the community, there's a lot of other guys who had that same progression where I told them to
Yeah.
journal, but they didn't see the value in it. But all of
Yeah.
those guys, as soon as I told them to journal, they're always like, bro, this is crazy. And it was so
Yeah.
funny when you had a similar reaction because you came
Yeah.
back after journaling for the first time, like a new man, like you just seen the light. You just been
Yeah.
reformed man. Like it
Mm.
was so funny. But tell us about that process. Like when you journaled, obviously you mentioned now you just kind of went on ChatGPT, gave some prompts. Like how did that journaling actually change things for you? Like what benefits did you
Mm.
see from it? And like how has it helped you just live a better life, kind of
It
achieve your goals more, just be more authentic as well?
it gives you stuff to, first of all, it gives you things to look back on. So I was actually looking through my diary, or like my like notebook the other day, from like the first things that I wrote down, and you can kind of see your ups and your downs. So you can see the days where you're just like, I'm the fucking man. Like, I did this, I did that. Or like you go and think going over things that you went throughout the day. And then you have the days where it's like a bit more down. You'd be like, okay, I had a crap day today. We'll get after it tomorrow. You know what I mean? That stuff, that having that, like, you can kind of feel the energy of what you were feeling in that moment as you're reading back, and you can kind of use that to be like, okay, like, like I got to stay on track, and it kind of gives you a bit more of like a schedule to adhere, or like things to look back on. But um, what I wrote for the first bit of the journal, usually you can write whatever you're feeling. Obviously, it's going to be different every time if you like obviously wanted to. But I was more so just kind of gives you an outlet in that sense once again, and then you can kind of like talk about your feelings, or you can go over your day, things that you liked or things that you didn't like, how you handled the situation, how you didn't handle the situation, like things like that. And it kind of gives you more of a sense of accountability, and like you can kind of refresh your mind instead of just sitting down and not thinking about your actions, because I feel like self-reflection is really important, especially when you're trying to improve yourself. um but yeah, just that aspect of it I found very beneficial, and like kind of opens you up a little bit, um, especially on those very emotional days that you have. It kind of like grounds
Yeah,
you a little bit more.
yeah.
You can let it all out.
When we talk about the word like authenticity, I feel like that's
Mm.
been a big part of your journey just in the last like 30 days. I mean, how do you think that journaling has helped you with your authenticity? And I
Mm.
think like how would you even describe how authentic you've lived your life like before joining the community versus like now at this point?
Yeah. I've always kind of struggled with that, or like more so like the opinions of others in that aspect, but like having more of like a way to kind of jot everything down, and like obviously what you're feeling. That has kind of helped with like finding who I am, like personally. And I feel like at time humans can, or people can kind of lose that and then gain it back. Like it's not something you can kind of get a hold of. You're always trying to improve that. Because it's not a certain point that you reach where you're just like, okay, I'm authentic now. You know what I mean? It's like it's an ongoing thing, and you have your ups and your downs. It's just the way it is. But um, since obviously joining, like I've definitely noticed a bit more of a difference, especially with the journaling. That was obviously a big thing. Kind of just like having someone to fall back on and like kind of look over in that aspect, so I can once again just keep on track with that. And if I am having a down day, I can look back on that and kind of use that to better myself instead of just going in like a spiral, and just like going downhill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and even like in the Saturday calls when we're talking and like all of the guys are there, it's been so cool watching you kind of progress over time because
Yeah,
I remember in our initial call just before you joined, you kind of talking about like some of your friends and how you weren't sure about the way that they were acting and you were trying to
yeah,
figure out what you should do. And over time, like as you've kind of journaled more and become more authentic and just kind of living out who you are unapologetically, you've been able to figure out a lot of those things that were holding you back and
yeah.
kind of keeping you torn. Like, could you talk more about that?
Yeah, so the main thing about being authentic, it's more so you're not going to please everyone. Like when you're genuinely an authentic person, you don't let people like walk all over you. You can say no to things like certain aspects like that. You're not a people pleaser anymore, because you're being authentically yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of people will feel a type of way about that, and I kind of had to dumb myself down, or like put myself in a box in a way to kind of accommodate for other people, and then that's not being authentic then,
Yeah.
because you're accommodating to fit your standards to like say like people you grew up with. You know what I mean? Like just the fact that just you grew up with them doesn't mean you have to be with them for the rest of your whole life, because people grow, people change,
Yeah.
and that's a big part of it. Obviously, finding your authenticity, because as you change the person, your authenticity kind of changes as well in that aspect, which is always like it's as I mean, it's like a domino effect. It's always you're always changing. But yeah, since joining, I've definitely noticed a lot more changes in like my mentality, and like obviously authenticity comes with that as well, because you're more self-reliant and you're being like, I'm not actually the crazy one, or like my goals aren't actually like that far out of reach compared to like what you guys are thinking, just because you guys are more like stagnant, not moving. Because there's people in the community that aren't stagnant, they want to get moving and they want to start like getting stuff going. And there's a wide variety of like people like ages as well, which is good because like there's younger guys like mid 20s. Um, and yeah, you can kind of just like have something to fall back on in that aspect, which is kind of helps with your confidence as well, because you don't really like need anyone else for like that validation, and
Yeah.
obviously it always helps.
Yeah, that's it's definitely a big part of life and something that everyone kind of I think most people really struggle with. Just being yourself,
Mm,
kind of handling friendships and relationships, who should I keep in my life, who should I not? But I feel like
yeah,
if you become more and more authentic, it becomes super
you have a
clear
better gauge
who
of it.
who to
Yeah.
stay, in your life and who shouldn't. For someone who is maybe watching this video and, they want to join the community, they're struggling with some of the stuff that maybe you struggled with, what would you tell them?
Well, I'd say like it's more of a thing, like I was more eager to join just because I've always been the type of person. It's like even though like obviously did have that little bit of a little sort of like ego towards like I already know this stuff, like why would I pay this money to like do this? Like I still did it anyways, just
Yeah.
because I'm like, what if I'm wrong? You know what I mean? There's always that aspect of like I don't know, and I always I don't like the feeling of missing out on something that could have been. So even if you like join the community and you're like, you know what, I actually don't like this, or you know, this actually isn't beneficial for me, um, which I don't think would be possible in that aspect. Because if you're doing the task and if you're doing, you're going to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Like obviously, depending on how much you want to put in or how much work you want to put into yourself and how eager you are to actually make a change will depend on how much it actually benefits you. But even if you're just like just watching the videos, just taking on like a little bit, not even doing the task, you're still going to get something out of it.
Yeah.
It's how much you get out of it is how much you're going to be putting into it. Essentially, how much you put in is how much you're going to get out. That's what I meant to say.
No, no, I completely agree. Like, I don't think there hasn't been one person who's joined the community, and hundreds of people who've joined who have said like, I joined the community, I invested in myself, and I didn't see any positive
Yeah,
changes.
yeah, because there's
And
not going to be any
it just
negatives.
it hasn't happened yet. And I feel like that's because the information in there is just sound information. It's the information's good if as you've heard
Yeah,
from Nate. And also it's just a community as well. Like just having the positive kind of community around you, that positive energy, it really is comforting in our very negative world. So yeah, it definitely does make a big difference in your life. And I mean, what's life like now? Now that you've kind of
mm,
come this far just in 30 days, which is crazy to me.
yeah.
Like, what's life like now compared to like where it was before?
I've noticed a massive difference in obviously just my overall just like self belief, or like more so like obviously we talk about confidence a lot. I just finished the confidence blueprint. I found that very beneficial, especially at that point of my life where I was kind of in like a bit of a lonely period. I still am going kind of going through it, but I found more comfort in it rather than um like kind of like obsessively like draining myself. Like I can kind of like have a bit more balance in that aspect. And then obviously the blueprints are obviously just liquid gold. So you can just like you can just rewatch those. Like there's certain points that you can pick up on and be like, okay, I found this really beneficial. I can redo this, or I can like redo a task. And they'll always help you out. So that's definitely been a big thing.
With what you've achieved in the last 30 days, like if you keep this up for, as we were
Yeah.
saying, like the next 3 months, 6 months, year,
Yeah.
you would have made like years of progress for the average person simply
Yeah.
just in a matter of months. So,
Yeah.
man, like keep doing what you're doing because
Mm,
I mean, just seeing the way Nate's been improving, like his eagerness to just learn, get involved. Like as he said, truly, what you put in is what you get out. And
mm,
yeah, his hard work and his dedication to actually achieve those goals that he set out to achieve is definitely a large reason for why
mm.
he's been able to actually make as much progress as he has in simply 30 days. 30 days,
Yeah.
like 1 month.
It doesn't feel that long, eh?
But
It's
that,
more so like thing like you can't just dip your toe in the water and be like, nah, it's cold. Like I don't want to jump in. You know what I mean? Like you may as well just dive straight in. And then
yeah,
if you don't like it or you don't find it beneficial, then that's obviously like at least you tried. Because that's
yeah,
my biggest thing. It's like sitting on your deathbed and you're just like, I didn't try. You know what I mean? That could have helped me. And it's just like I don't like having those thoughts or like things like you leaving your cup like half empty. If
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, and yeah, like this is only a 1 month progress kind of thing. So I'm excited to even see where we're
Yeah.
at in 3 months. But I mean that's everything I have to personally talk about. I mean, again,
Yeah.
if someone's on the other end of this, watching, kind of on the fence or joining, do you have any last words for that person who wants to invest in themselves? They want
Mm,
to achieve these goals, that they're ambitious like us, but they're not
mm,
sure about kind of joining the
yeah.
community and investing in themselves. What are your final words to that person?
Yeah. I would say like obviously once again there's no point dipping your toe in the water. Like if you are going to obviously put yourself out there in the community, you may as well go all in, like actually take it seriously, because that's how you're going to get the most out of it. Because if you're just going to kind of join and kind of just like half-ass it, you're not going to find it as beneficial. Like you're just not. So it really just matters on how much. Like I was at a stage in my life where I was really eager to change and I kind of needed a bit more, like as much as I could get in that aspect to try and better myself. And it's like you kind of have to put your ego to the side a little bit once again and be like, okay, I actually don't know everything. You know what I mean? Like I can hear OD out. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's hear him out. Um, and I guarantee it'll find you, no matter who you are, you'll find it beneficial, no matter what you're doing, whether you're like a soccer player or whether you're selling insurance like me. Like it doesn't matter what you're doing. You can mix and match things and it'll help you out in any aspect of your life. So um, yeah, I would honestly recommend it. But once again, what you put in is what you get out. So it's
Yeah,
completely up to you.
yeah, man. I completely agree. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you, Nate, for coming on and sharing the crazy progress that you've experienced over the last month.
Mhm.
The only thing I have left to say is onwards and upwards, baby.
Onwards and upwards.